It has been a long time since I've made a haul video here, guys, so stay tuned to find out what I picked up. Hey guys, it's Mandak coming at you here with another haul video. So welcome into haul video number 162. So as I mentioned, it has been a little bit of time here since I've made a haul video, and that's just because I haven't really picked up a lot of stuff here. But recently I've actually gone to a couple of places and have kind of accumulated enough stuff here to kind of justify a haul video here, so we'll go through it. But yeah, it's been a great month, just focusing on getting married and staying busy with work and reading a lot of stuff. So I'll kind of talk about what I've been reading as well in the haul section here, the comic haul section that is. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit about kind of where I got this stuff to in the subsequent videos, or the subsequent sections here of this video. So stay tuned to find out what that is. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it, starting with the comics. Alright guys, welcome into the comic book section here for haul video number 162. So I'll talk a little bit about where I got all the stuff I picked up here shortly. But before I do that, I do want to talk about what I've been reading this past month or so. Which has been a lot here. So recently, I guess starting from, I'll kind of go through my Cap stuff that I've been reading, just so everyone's up to date on kind of where I'm at with my Cap readathon. But yeah, finished Dan Jurgens Captain America Omnibus. So really enjoyed that run. Very much a very pinnacle run here, along with Wade's stuff. So yeah, definitely some really good material for anyone who's looking to find some good Cap stuff. Really, really good stuff there. And then from there, I transitioned straight into Captain America Marvel Knights. So I actually had the first volume in paperback. I actually remember when I picked it up at a Books A Million, like, geez, maybe 5 or 6 years ago at this point. Never actually ended up getting the second volume. But I was able to look up the material that was in that collection online, and so I just read that stuff and read the second volume of that. So it was all right. A lot of this run with Captain America Marvel Knights, at least, is centered around 9/11. So we actually opened the first issue to Captain America like being at Ground Zero, so that's pretty sombering. And yeah, a lot of it's centered around like kind of terrorism and like anti-threat stuff, and I don't know if that's really the right word to say there, but yeah, anyways, it's okay. It's not great. There's definitely some weird story arcs. There's one it's called Ice, and my one friend Vince was asking me if I read it yet when I was reading through that stuff, but essentially it retcons the whole storyline that Captain America, went into the ice trying to save America from a piloted missile plane that Baron Zemo sent off, and that's how Bucky dies, allegedly, and Cap ends up falling in the water, and that's how he turns into ice. And like this whole storyline shows that like the government is actually the people who froze him, and there's like this whole conspiracy. I am definitely certain that became quickly retconned out of existence. So yeah, it was a little interesting to read that, but I thought it was a funny thing. And it's always good to see like flashbacks too with like the Avengers and stuff like that. I think like the old Avengers like outfits and stuff, because every time they show like flashbacks from that, they always seem to show like the old Avengers like costumes and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, it was all right. Like I said, I just was continuing my read through, and then I got to Captain America by Ed Brubaker and Steve Epstein. Really, really flew through those omnibus. I actually stopped at the point where, Cap runs into the Winter Soldier for the first time and says Bucky, and then he looks over him and he's like, "Who the hell's Bucky?" So I thought that was really great that they used that or that the movie used that from the comics. But yeah, interesting though with these omnibus, because I have all 5 of them now. I'm currently on the 3rd one, Captain America Lives. But yeah, with the first volume, it's interesting because the last issue is the death of Captain America, right, when he gets sniped and shot by crossbones. And then in the next omnibus, which is the death of Captain America, which is the smallest one of all of them, we open up to the same issue. So there's like a double dipping going on there. And in a lot of ways, I kind of see why they put both of them in there, because like that issue is really like kind of the end of the Civil War tie-in books for Captain America, and also like the beginning of the subsequent arc when, Bucky takes over as Captain America and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I read The Death of Captain America. I flew through that book. I read that omnibus in 2 days. I mean, I think it's less than 500 pages, so depending on how much time you have, it's a really quick read too. Ed Brubaker's writing is pretty easy to get through. It's not bogged down much by dialogue, which is great. So yeah, so I'm currently reading the Captain America Lives omnibus, so hopefully I'll be done with these omnibus probably by the beginning of September. So that just leaves me, I think, Remender, and then Spencer, that rhymed, and then Ta-Nehisi Coates, I think, and then a couple of tie-in books, or a couple of like standalone books for Captain America I have left, and then I'll be done. So we're really closing in here on the end. It's been almost a full year of reading Captain America stuff. I started reading Cap Epic Collections back in December of last year, so I think it's probably going to end up being a full year of reading Captain America for me, which is insane to think about. Just so much material. Obviously I was reading other stuff in between all my Cap stuff too, but just crazy how far this journey has gone. So really cool to see that. So like I said, obviously I've sprinkled in some other books that are not Captain America related into my read-throughs here. So I did mention on my last haul, I started reading Poe Dameron. So I actually went ahead and finished that series. I did read volumes 3, 4, and 5. And I know I mentioned earlier that like this whole storyline was basically going to be set between like episode 6 and the beginning of episode 7. And like I think by like the 3rd or 4th volume, we already meet up, and then we kind of skip through Force Awakens and Last Jedi, and then we pick up back where like Last Jedi ended, and then Poe is recapping things that happened in the past, which I think is a little bit dumb, but it was an all right run. I would say if you're a huge Poe Dameron fan, which I don't know how many people out there are, I would definitely say it's a good read, right? It's like 30 issues, which, like I said before, is honestly kind of surprising to me that it lasted that long. But yeah, I read it, and probably just going to end up selling it because I don't think I'm ever going to want to reread that anytime soon. And if I do, it's on Marvel Unlimited, so there's that. But yeah, it was an all right run. I think next I'm probably going to read Dr. Aphra, because that's like another series that I have collected in trades that I'm probably going to just get rid of after I finish it. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so there's that. And then some other books I read here. I picked it up recently, but I read the Tetris, the Games People Play, like graphic novel here. So I read that. I actually went to the shore with my fiance, and when I was at the shore, I just sat down on the beach and read this in like one sitting. It was a very quick read. Very fun though. I would say the art was very fun and just very basic, but it explained the story very well. There's a lot of backstory that goes into the creation of Tetris and just all the legal stuff that went through. So I know there was a movie that came out like a couple years ago that I think was premiered on Apple TV. So I don't think I can access that right now, but I would like to watch that at some point. kind of interests me. So there's that. And I also did read Watchmen. So story time with this. Monica and I decided to go out to Target one night and like do this little like shopping thing where like each of us buys stuff for each other and we kind of like surprise each other. Just like a kind of like nice like midweek type of activity thing for us to do. Um, and so one of the things on that list was buying something that each of us should try. So Monica bought me, I think, like macarons. So I tried those, and I bought her Watchmen. So I found at Target, they're selling like these smaller, like digest sized paperbacks, DC is. So I bought that for her because I have a copy and I figured we could sit down and read it together. And so I started reading it, Monica started reading it, and then I started reading a little bit ahead. And I ended up finishing the book, but I gave it like 2 stars on Goodreads. I don't know what it is. I just don't think I'm a big Alan Moore fan. I read V for Vendetta, didn't really vibe with that much. This book, just really a lot of random stuff, a lot of text, a lot of exposition, a lot of like meaningless dialogue to me that just felt very like can we just get to the point, you know? But you know, it's obviously very acclaimed. Like when people talk about comics, this is like a book that everyone like points to and is like, this is great, you should read this. And to be honest, I don't see the hype. And I might get some flack for that from my friends or in the comments, but I just really don't see the hype. And it kind of makes me scared because I have some other Alan Moore books in my collection here that I'm going to read. And I just, it feels a lot like how I feel when I read Jonathan Hickman at times, because Jonathan Hickman can be very ethereal and very like out there in terms of his concepts. And a lot of them just fly right over my head. And maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe I don't get it. But, you know, I don't think reading comics I don't think should require as much like mental capacity to like really think about the concepts as like, you know, taking like a master's course or something, right? Like I don't know. I feel like there should be some element of simplicity to comics that sometimes some creators miss. But that's just my personal opinion. Like I said, a lot of people love Watchmen, and you know, maybe I'll watch the movie or the show at some point just to kind of see if that's better. I've heard a lot of people say the show is good, the movie not as much, but you know, we'll see. Like it's I usually can tell if I'm not really into a book if I can't tell you what happened in the plot like afterwards. And with Watchmen, that's kind of the case. Like I really can't tell you too much about what happened aside from, you know, we open up to the murder of one of these heroes, and then all these other heroes that were friends with him are trying to figure out who killed him. And then, you know, we get into this whole storyline with somebody trying to blow up the world, and it's just like I said, I don't, nothing really about it just blew my socks off. I mean, the art really wasn't that great. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, not my cup of tea, but there's that. And then lastly, here to close out this section of what I've been reading, I also have started my Daredevil read through. So I have read like probably about 50% of my Daredevil collection. You know, I've read Frank Miller, I've read Bendis, Brubaker. So I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. So I started reading Daredevil Epic Collection Volume 1, The Man Without Fear. So that collects the first 21 issues of Daredevil. So Stan Lee, you know, Romita, Wally Wood. So that's really the only early epic of Daredevil I have, and probably the only one I'll care to read, just because I just want to see the origin story. Otherwise, this is such a slog to get through, man. You know, early Silver Age Marvel was just so slow to get through. I mean, it usually, like, most of these issues take me like 20-25 minutes to get through, so it's going to be a long haul. And that's what's kind of scared me about my Fantastic Four run, because I have, I got to start that soon here too, because Fantastic Four is coming out next year. So like my plan is, obviously I should be done with Cap by the end of this year, probably sooner than that. And And then, like I said, I'm starting my Daredevil run, so I'm gonna read this epic collection and jump past Miller, read Anna Senti and all those other epics. So get that done, and then I believe it's Wade and then Soul. Yeah. So it's not really a lot of material for Daredevil. Like, I should be able to get that done before March of next year, because I think that's when Born Again comes out. So I should be done with all that before then. And then straight from there, I think at the beginning of 2025 is when I'll start reading my Fantastic Four stuff, because I think Fantastic Four is coming out in July next year of 2025, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 2026. No, it's 2025, right? I think it is. Anyway, Fantastic Four stuff I definitely have as much as probably my Cap stuff, so I got to make sure, maybe not as much, but still a lot of material, right? And like I said, the early Fantastic Four epics, they're going to take me a while to get through, just because of all the Silver Age dialogue and stuff. It's going to be really, really slow going for a little bit there, but I'm going to commit and try to get at least 2 issues of those done every day, so that way I'm chugging along there. But yeah, that's my stuff. So 14-minute intro aside, we'll go ahead and get into the haul here. So went to a couple places here. So yesterday, actually, I went to the Harrisburg Comic and Pop Con with my friend Ed and his friend Andrew and my fiance Monica. And then, we kind of hung out. I got a couple of things here that I'll show you. And afterwards, we actually hung out with Andrew's cousin, Mark, who we played a bunch of board games with at the con. So that was really fun. We got to play a couple of games that I didn't know about that I thought were actually pretty fun to play. So I might end up picking some of them up at some point. But yeah, really, really fun stuff. And it was a really great day. We got breakfast before we went, and then we had dinner, and just a very fun day with great friends. Ed, I've been friends with him for over a decade now. So him and I are pretty close. So it was really nice to see him and hang out and shop for comics. So, and it's funny too, actually, Monica ended up finding more stuff than I did. She found a bunch of other things not comic book related. So that's the fun, I guess, that we have with these cons now. It's just that there's so many vendors nowadays that are at these cons that anyone who has any interest in anything really can find something that they like at these cons and shop around and just be entertained. So I think that's really cool. So that's my little spiel there. But anyways, I was shopping around, and I did find one vendor that was selling some singles. And I usually don't pick through singles just because it's a long and arduous task. But with this, I was looking through this vendor, just came across, and I saw some of these prices for these books, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for this because I haven't bought anything all day, and I want to get some comics, and this is the only character that I get single issues for. And I think you guys can already guess who that is, and that is Iron Man. So I got a bunch of early Silver Age Iron Man issues that I was looking for in my collection. So still chugging along there, still trying to round out the collection of my Iron Man single issues. So I found a lot of key ones here that I can put in my collection. So first one here is issue 27. And it's funny, like I told Monica this and my friends yesterday, it's like, when I get these issues now, I get so paranoid because I think that like I already bought these, because all these issues covers are starting to just blend in my head now. So, but yeah, I picked up a lot of these. All these are under issue 100, so very good to get these in nice condition. So this one has Firebrand on the cover, kind of around that like rioting, anti-war time for Marvel. This one, issue 33, you have Sitwell. You also have the Spy Master, even though the Spy Master himself is actually not featured on here. So maybe I think he's in one of these disguises. But yeah, I miss the days where we had a bunch of dialogue on the covers. Next one here, issue 34. Really like the face here of Iron Man. A bunch of stuff going on here. Like I said, I really like the way they made these older covers. Just a lot of stuff going on. All right, issue 35. I didn't take off the sticker, so I apologize for that. But This is part of a Scorpio, Zodiac crossover with Daredevil. So you can see Daredevil in there. So I remember reading this in Essentials, and then obviously you have Nick Fury as well. So yeah, you have Zodiac, and Scorpio is Fury's brother, so that's why that he's involved. 38, a man named Jonah. It's been so long since I've read these issues. It's been 8 years since I read these. I read these in the summer of 2016, so it's been, like I said, a while. So yeah, really having a mind blank on some of this stuff. Just not a lot of memorable arcs around this time for Iron Man. 48 we have right here is another appearance by Firebrand. I don't think we've had an appearance of Firebrand in any MCU project yet, so interesting that he's there. And you can see here he's melting Iron Man's armor, so really cool to see that. This one right here, we have the Masked Marauder. So, nice cover. All these are in pretty good condition, you know. The colors still pop pretty well, and really cool to see that. So, yeah, issue 60, really nice there. And then the last one I found here was issue 67, which is the Return of the Freak, which I believe used to be Happy Hogan, and maybe that still is him. I can't remember, but that was originally who the Freak was. He was like Happy Hogan, and he was like exposed to some radiation. He mutated, kind of like the Hulk, but not as memorable. So yeah, you can see that there. So really cool. Like I said, I'll put these in my spreadsheet at some point. But yeah, really nice to get all those issues. Like I said, I don't buy a lot of single issues, so getting these for, I think I did the math, and like average they came out to about $7 an issue, which, like I said, for Silver Age, early Silver Age Iron Man, like it's a really good deal. And the guy that was at the guy that was running the table was really nice too. You know, he was very helpful and just very yeah, very easy to deal with. So that's always great to hear. Okay, so the next 4 books here I got are from Second and Charles. So last weekend, Monica's friend from high school came up and hung out with us, and we, you know, went shopping, went to the Cheesecake Factory, went to the Christiana Mall, shopped around there. We did an escape room and shopped at bookstores. Her friend was really into books, so obviously her and I kind of get along pretty well. But yeah, we went to Second and Charles, and it actually worked out perfectly because that Saturday they were running a sale, as they normally do once a year, called a penny a page. So if you found, you'd have to find a used book that had a page count on it. And as the sale suggests, you know, you pay a penny a page. So if it's 300 pages, you pay $3, right? So obviously with graphic novels and comics and collected editions, it's very hard to find page counts for those. Usually the art goes fully off to the edge of the book, so you don't have page counts. But luckily, I was able to find some books that I also needed for my collection that I had page counts. And the first one here is DMZ, Volume 4. So you guys may remember, a couple months ago, I think, I bought the first DMZ compendium and went online to try to find the second one. The second one's out of print. It's going for cover, and I'm like, I don't really want to pay that. So my plan is I have Volume 3 on order from Amazon, so that should be coming here anytime, any day now. That collects, I believe, issues 28 through 44, I want to say. This collects issues 45 through 59, and then Volume 5 collects the remaining part of the series, which is 60 through 72. So combined, these 2 books were $5. So, you know, formatting aside, I thought this was a good deal, right? I paid like $30 for the compendium, so I got these 2 books for $5. and then I paid maybe like $12 for the third volume. So overall, you know, I paid, you know, what, $50 for the whole series, 72 issues. So I think it's a good deal. Yes, it will look stupid on the shelf with the one compendium and the 3 books here. But, you know, I just want to read it. And I think there's only maybe like 6 issues of overlap, maybe, or actually it might be 8. It might be 8 because the third one starts at 28 and then the compendium goes to 36. So it's not a huge deal. I'm not going to cry about it. But yeah, this is another series that I really want to read. You know, I think the art looks beautiful. You know, Brian Wood, I can't remember off the top of my head what I've read from Brian Wood, but his name sounds very familiar. So yeah, we'll give this a shot. And now it's another series here from Vertigo that I've collected, and really excited to have the whole series now. So that was a little bit of a chore to find everything collected. And if I could go back in time, I definitely would have just gotten it all on those books instead, those 5 books instead of the compendiums, but it is what it is. So this next book I got here also for a penny a page. So this one was only $3. And this one I didn't really know too much about, but it was a nice hardcover. The art looks very interesting. It's kind of like a crime noir book, and that is Family Man. This is by Jerome Sharon and Joe Staten. So yeah, original price on this was $20. That's what they were selling it for at Second Charles, and I got it for $3. So yeah, I think this will be a very quick read. Like I said, I don't know too much about this. It seems like it's like a kind of like a mob, like crime noir book. So something that definitely will probably be appealing to me. But yeah, really nice hardcover here. And again, nice to get this for $3. I mean, that's a pretty insane price when you think about it. All right, and then the last book I got here was one that I bought. I kind of bought this just for the format. But also it was on a really good sale, right? I think original price on this was probably $70 or $75 maybe. But I got this for $25, and it is sealed, so I unfortunately could not get the book penny a page sale for this, and even so, I think this didn't have page counts. And that is the Howard the Duck by Chip Zdarsky and Joe Quinones. I want to say is how you say the last name. I really like Chip Zdarsky, and obviously, like, this definitely intrigues me as like a fan of Howard the Duck, right? Like, obviously he's been in all the Guardians films and in What If, so I think this will be a funny read. You know, like I said, Chip Zdarsky's writing is very nice. This collects issues 1 through 5 of the 2015 A Howard the Duck series. And then we had the Secret Wars, and then the 2015 B series, which is numbers 1 through 11. We get Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, number 6, and then War of the Realms, War Scrolls, number 1. So not a lot of material in here, but again, just something I wanted to pick up because, you know, always like getting some omnibus in my collection. You know, maybe after I read this, I'll sell it to somebody. But we'll see. But anyways, 27 minutes aside later, that is my haul here. So thank you so much for watching this comics book section, and let's go ahead and get into the Lego haul for this video. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this Lego section here. So yeah, so as I mentioned in my last segment, you know, last weekend we hung out with Monica's friend Marissa, and we went to the Christiana Mall in Delaware because no tax. But yeah, while we were in the Christiana Mall, I wanted to stop in a Lego store just to take a look. I really wasn't keen on buying a lot of stuff, but ended up spending $60 worth of BrickHeads because, like I said before on this channel a lot, most, if not all, of the BrickHeads are essentially exclusive to the Lego store and Lego.com. For some reason, like I said, like years ago, they were selling BrickHeads at like stores like Target and Walmart, and you know, I guess they just stopped selling them all together. So they keep them in-house, and they sell them only on the website and on Lego.com or Lego stores. So that's what I pretty much ended up buying from that store. So the first one here is a thumbnail for this um, video, and also a set that I totally spaced on even knowing that it came out. And I saw it, I'm like, oh my god, I need to get that. And that is the Iron Man Mark V. So this is the suitcase armor from Iron Man 2. So you can see there on the side there. Love this. Absolutely love this. Yeah, this is long overdue. I really love the fact that Lego Marvel is going back and re-exploring a lot of these older movies and giving us sets from these older movies. You know, I think that's just absolutely perfect, right? Because instead of getting these massive waves for all these movies, you know, we most of the time get like maybe 1 or 2 sets depending on the movie for Lego sets, but now they're just really hitting it out of the park with some of these sets that they're making, and I really love these brickheads. You know, earlier this year we got the Potted Groot and the Iron Spider brickheads, so this is a really great addition to that. And again, I just really hope we get more and more of these. I hope maybe next, if I had a wish list for more Iron Man armor brickheads, I would definitely love to see the Mark 1, the one he uses to escape the terrorist in the first movie. So that would be really great to get that in brickhead form. But definitely want to build this tonight now that I have it shown it on the haul here. All right, next one here I bought. I did hear about this set when it was released, and it definitely piqued my interest because I don't think Lego has ever done a set like this before when it comes to just the amount of different options you can build. Like, obviously they've made variety packs in the past with brickheads, and maybe they have actually made one like this with, like, I think soccer players or something. But this is a variety pack of a brickhead of a character that has many appearances over the years, and that is Batman. So you can see here, this is the 8-in-1 brickheads Batman set. Beautiful, you know, silver copper age Batman art on the side there. Yeah, this is amazing. The first thing I immediately did online was look up how many of these I need to buy to build them all, because obviously this set comes with like multiple parts, you know, like all the printed parts are the same. So I'm gonna do some research. You know, I'm gonna try to build as many of these as I can with the parts that I have, because I've been sorting out a bunch of parts, and maybe I can find some that I can use without buying another one maybe. But yeah, this is really cool, and definitely a project I want to work on. It just has me really like intrigued to like actually build all these and display all of them and have all of them. But yeah, so you can see here just like how all the ones they listed out here. So you have, you know, Bronze Age Batman, you have the classic Batman TV series Batman, you have Batman from 1989, the animated series, the Dark Knight trilogy, Batman vs Superman, the Lego Batman movie, and then the Batman from the newest one here with Robert Pattinson. So really cool. A lot of printed elements, which I really love. You know, all the chest plates are printed, which is nice. Most of the belts are as well. So really cool, and really excited to get this a build at some point. So definitely stay tuned to see how that turns out. All right, and then the last brickhead collection that I bought here was one that I wanted to pick up, and I definitely will build this now, and hopefully as we get towards the end of the year here, maybe I'll get lucky and get another one of these for sale, because I on a sale, because I definitely want to buy another one of these to keep sealed and hopefully resell at some point. And that is the Lego 40676, the Phantom Menace brickheads. So this is amazing. A lot of people in the Lego community are freaking out over we're basically like looking forward to getting this for the Jar Jar Binks brickhead, which a lot of people wanted as the 150th brickhead. But unfortunately we didn't get that. But you can see here it comes with Jar Jar, Anakin Skywalker, Padme, you know, Queen Amidala. Really great brickhead there too. They really did a good job on that. Captain Panaka, Qui-Gon Jinn, and then you know, also Darth Maul there. So perfect selection. I don't think there would have been anyone that I would have changed out here. You know, it is nice that we got, you know, Panaka instead of just Obi-Wan. You know, building two Jedi might have been a little boring, considering they're both would have looked pretty much the same. Um, but yeah, really, really enjoyed this. This is gonna be a really fun build. You can see here the 25th anniversary thing on the side there with Queen Amidala, and on the back here just some more shots. But really, really cool. I would say of all the ones in this that interest me the most, definitely Darth Maul and definitely Queen Amidala. I think those two are definitely standouts on this one. But yeah, really cool to get that as well, and hopefully we'll give that a build too at some point. And then the last set I bought here was one that I found, as I normally do around this time of year, on Walmart.com. And it's crazy because we don't normally get a large announcement of this set. It kind of just shows up on Walmart.com, and then I find out about it, and I just end up going and buying it. And that is the 3-in-1 pack for this year, 2024. And that is the Jedi Masters gift set. So at the time of this recording, I believe you can still find this online for $50, and you can play the waiting game and probably get it for cheaper if you wait a little bit longer. But these have pretty limited quantities, and I think once this season comes and goes, you're not gonna be able to find these. You know, they pretty much pump these out right around right around this time, trying to gear up for the holiday season. But yeah, this one's interesting because one of these three I do not currently own, and that would be Yoda's Jedi Interceptor. I absolutely have no interest in buying that set by itself. It's overpriced. There's no good minifigures there, right? Yoda is recycled from many other sets. R2 the same. But the Obi-Wan Jedi Starfighter is a pretty attractive set to throw in here just because of that Kaminoan figure. Ton Wee. And then also you have the 501st Specialist Battle Pack. So a lot of good stuff. As I always mention, my sales pitch with this, if you have a kid who's huge into Lego, who doesn't already have these sets, and you're looking for a set for Christmas that's affordable, $50 gets you 3 sets. I think MSRP on these combined would be, that's 30. This would be 20. That's 50 plus 35, so that's 85 MSRP down to 50. And I realized I just cut myself on that box. That's great. But you can see here on the back kind of what that looks like. So yeah, you're like I said, these box sets, crazy savings. You know, $50 for $85 worth of stuff, I think is a really good deal. So yeah, for me, it's just something I'm gonna keep sealed and hopefully sell one day for hundreds of dollars and make my money back, right? So we'll see. But anyways, guys, that was my Lego haul here. Hope you enjoyed that, and let's go ahead and get into the outro for this video. All right, guys, thank you again so much for watching this video. Please make sure to comment, like, comment, and subscribe for more content. I have 162 of these haul videos now, so plenty of material to go back and watch. But anyways, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, week, month, and year. And until next time, I will see you on the flip side. Peace.